Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you a electronic version of my budget. So if you like watching these kind of videos, just keep on watching. Alright, so I've been on a roll making these videos for you guys. I hope you're enjoying them. I hope they're coming in handy. Of course, as soon as I hit record, guys, my phone starts to ring. Okay, so here is a free Excel version of a budget, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets in the bottom. Obviously, I'm a old school kind of person. I do have a pencil, but I hate it to death. This is my email. And within your email, Google gives you free sheets. And let me see if I can tell you how to get there. So here is the email. And the little dots, you have all of this stuff that Google gives you. They even give you docs, finance, slides, all kinds of stuff. So I go into sheets. I created a debt-free journey sheet. And then here is the sheets. So in here, I put all of the bills by name. The due date, obviously I don't really care for due dates. The minimum payments, and then I put January through December because this is my 2021 bills, right? You can have as many tabs, as many sheets for free. Google does not charge. So on the top, here we go. So this is my bills, and I put all the way through December, and I sort of gave it, this is not something I'm gonna be doing. This is just something that I'm trying to put out there so people can know it's there. But I went in, I typed in all of my bills on this column. Here's the due dates. Here are the minimums. And then January, obviously, you put in the amount that you paid. This is a yearly view of your bills. Now, I went in and I went back and entered every single thing that was in my checking account on my main account in here. So I went in and entered everything in here. You see I'm here up to December. And the good thing about this is you can actually create pivot tables. So going forward, I will keep up with this sheet and my sinking fund sheet, which is this one, because of the simple fact that you can make pivot tables. Like here, I can go in here and break everything down by a category. So if I want to go in and see how much I spend in clothes, I can see everything I spent in clothes here. You can total it up by just selecting it all, and the Google Sheets will give you a total. So as of the beginning of the year till now, I spent $1,765 in clothing, right? You can break it down into car. Car for me is like car maintenance and all that stuff. So I spent this amount in vehicles for between the Toyota and the Hyundai. We spent $2,651 for the whole entire year. So this is the only reason I love having this here, because I was able to create a pivot table. So here's my sinking funds. All you have to do is select what you want. So I can redo it for you so you can see. So you can just select between the date, the spent, and the deposit. You don't need the total column. And then you just go all the way down. If it ever gets there. Okay, there it is. Alright, you go insert, and then there's a thing called pivot table. You want to create a new sheet, so it puts it all in a separate sheet. Then from there, you're gonna put your roles. Obviously, depending on what you want, I put my roles to be the categories here. And then you want to put the spent amount as a value. And it sums everything up. I also put deposits as a value because some stuff I did get. I want my spent first. I put it also because of the simple fact that it is also a sum. You can go here and select it. I'm like dribbling with my tongue. This is why I'm not a teacher. But so I put a spend column and a deposit column because of the fact that deposits means I got something back. So it's not, you know, like obviously it's not the whole amount. So I'm gonna delete this because I already created one. But that's how you create the pivot table. You select what you want the pivot table on, and then you play around with the values and all that stuff. So I'm going to close this because I already have my pivot table. Apparently this free sheet, you can do formulas within the pivot table. So I had to do one simple formula, which it was my spent minus my deposit to give me the exact amount. Then I had to do another column and do the D column divided into 12 because these are my sinking funds. I'm dividing all of this into the 12th month of 2022. So here is the what it claims, and then here is my actuals, what I currently have as a sinking fund and the amount. Go a little closer, you guys can see. There you go. These are my current balances. So I went in and created a formula that this is what I have minus what it claims I should have, and it tells me whether I'm over or under of what I should have. So I went in and changed. These are going to be my 2022 buckets, sinking fund, cashless sinking fund. So here for my 2022, I did have to change my direct deposit for my job to put an additional $50 in there. So starting in 2022, it should be in effect. And then for 2022, these are the funds that we're going to put for every sinking fund that we have. Now, obviously, everyone's sinking fund is based on their own of what they have. I have the most important that I know we spend money on. So for my sinking funds is a separate account for the car, and that's car maintenance. Anything that has to do with the vehicle, with fixing the car. Both cars. So this is for me and my husband, car and my motorcycle. The clothing is all the clothes for me, my husband, and Bela. Debt is not really a bucket or a sinking fund. Debt is just that I was able to pool money, which I'll do it again at the end of December, that if I have certain amount in certain buckets, I call them buckets, in certain sinking funds, I take that money out, transfer it to my main, and pay a debt. That's what that means. So that means that out of the sinking fund, I paid out $1,251 in debt. So that's not really a bucket. As you can see, there's not an envelope for it. For the home is anything we did for the house here, our current home. We did a lot of work outside in the yard for gardening. We did a lot of work in the front of our house because eventually we're selling the house, obviously, because we're leaving to Tennessee. So we did a lot of work. So currently we used to have less than 190. But I guess because of all the work that we did, it says 190. But I'm okay with that because whatever we have left over in the home is going to stay there because it's for the house for Tennessee. So I'm okay that is above what we had because I think we increased it like 3 times this year. And I'm okay with a little more increase because whatever we have there is going to be for things for us for Tennessee. So it's okay. Income, obviously that's the money we put in throughout the year. Medical, we spent $2,779. Out of that, we got some credit back, so the total was $26.91. That one I was a little bit short, so I we were at 180. I did lower it at one point, so now I raised it, so now it's at 200. The same thing for memberships. So memberships, I left it at 100 because even though it says 1434, there's a few things. So this is the cool part about having things in a pivot, right? You can go in here. I went in here, I cleared it all. Here's a good example. I went into memberships, selected it, hit OK. Everything that popped up as a membership popped up here. So some of these I no longer have. I don't have Sears anymore, so I had to reduce that amount. I don't have obviously Easy Pass. We still work on it on and off. It's whenever we go anywhere. Hulu we still have. The HP is our printer. The Sears, look, I have another Sears. So for like, I have 1, 2, 3. We had several Sears on there. So what I did was, in order to know exactly how much my new membership is gonna be, I went in here. Obviously AAA, Apple is okay. I'm no longer gonna do Connecticut Magazine, Easy Pass, Google, HP, Kindle, Hulu. I'm not sure what membership is. It must have been some membership. Norton is the computer. Pandora I still have. Prime, obviously we no longer gonna have Sears. Defense Magazine, I don't even do Weight Watchers anymore, so that's a go. So I just hit that. It reduces the amount of the $49.49. So then I went in here, I added everything up that I currently have, and it came up to the 1,200. So that's why I know that it's okay for me to leave it as 100 instead of what it actually wanted to do. So that's fine. So here is where I did another pivot. I'm good with pivot. So I did another pivot, and what happens is everything in the green. So I went by name, and then I went by the amount that was spent and summed it up, and then I reduced the ones that are not highlighted. So obviously the ones that are highlighted in blue we're keeping, and then the ones that are not highlighted we no longer doing. So like the Connecticut Magazine, the Sears, it was $150 that I'm saving because we no longer doing Sears, and I no longer doing Weight Watchers. So it did reduce it by the 1,200. Everything else was fine. It's something that we normally do. So that one stayed the same. Nina was another one that it looks like we were making too much for Nina. So right now, it says 50. We had 80, so I sort of split it in half. I said, then you know what? If it's claiming more, it's claiming less than what I was saying, then I'm gonna do 60 because one, we changed her food. And two, I am going to start scheduling her. I found a cheaper place to do her nails and the grooming and her bath. So I think it's going to be saving me money, but I'm still going to do more. I'm going to do 60. So it's less than what we had, but more than what they're claiming. We take her at least every other month to get groomed. I try to do as much as I can here, but everybody's always busy. Other's going to be 50. Taxes, they say 148, we have 130, so I'm gonna do 150 because taxes also has to do with any car registrations, because taxes will be anything that I can claim back in my taxes. So this and my medical is something that I want to keep a tab on because I'm gonna claim it back. So the car taxes, the DMV, anything that has to do with the car registration, all that stuff, I put it under taxes because I don't want to put it under car, because then I have to separate the maintenance out of the car registration plates, any of that stuff. Then Christmas, obviously. Christmas was the other bucket that it claimed I should be doing 150, but I was only doing 100. So I decided to break into 120 starting in 2022 because I did overspend, but I did get 2 new grandkids this year. Hi Dee Dee, hi Nico, and they're babies. So this year, I spoiled them. But next year, we are going to try to do things differently for Christmas since we are leaving to Tennessee eventually. We don't want the kids to try to get used to the fact of constantly getting a load of gifts when we're not even going to be here. We don't know if they're going to be with us in Tennessee. So our bucket is going to be 120. So you'll see these numbers going forward probably in one of my other videos for my bullet journal. But I will continue doing my bullet journal. The only thing I will not continue doing is, the only thing I will do is keep the register going here for the sinking fund. And the main account. I will continue doing the main account here as well. Because this works out for me every quarter, because as you guys know, every quarter we sit down and we review our numbers to make sure we're actually in the right track and that we're not going to be in a hole with something. So I think for going for 2022, I will be doing more tabs here, as in, and change it the color, because you can have as many tabs as you want, obviously. So going here, I'm going to go here. I'm going to create 2 more tabs, because obviously, and I'm going to put it over here so it can be for 2022. And then we're going to rename this to People's 2022. And this is going to be Chase 2022. Then let's make it the new year. Let's make it bright. We're going to make it blue. Let's make it blue. So that's how you make a sheet. The other thing I want to tell you guys is I'll keep the bills, but I'm not actually going to keep track of it monthly. The only one I'll probably do will be the WPCA, Vivint Solar, T-Mobile, UI, and Southern Connecticut Gas, but I'm going to do actual numbers for Southern. Okay, so I'm going to average it out. So I'm going to go back for the whole entire year of 2021 for these 3. And let me make it a different color so I can know. And I'm going to average it out. I pay a certain amount because I'm already on a budget plan with Southern Connecticut Gas and UI. But I want to keep track of it myself. So I'm going to go in here and go pull my actual bills for UI and Southern Connecticut Gas, and then average it out for the year. I want to make sure that what I'm sending them is the exact same. I don't want to go back and somewhere in August, because this one is due, the budget gets reviewed in August, in the UI. I think it's September and August. I don't want that to come back and say I owe them $565. I don't want that. So I'm going to average everything out. The same thing for the Vivint, the Solar, T-Mobile, and WPCA. We always pay the exact amount. We're not on a budget, but I do want to average it out to see. We do have new tenants in the house, so I will be getting more income because they are going to pay me rent. But so my water, my light, and that kind of stuff will go. It is going to go up, but it is being balanced out with the rent that they're paying me. Lewis is not going to be there. This is Lewis's vehicle. He will be taking it over no later than the end of January. I'm only giving him till January. So according to him, the job wants him to do the direct deposit starting January 1st, I guess, for the new year. So it'll take a couple of pay cycles. So starting February, he'll be paying his own vehicle. So you won't see that anymore. And then you'll see it down on the deposits, because obviously he doesn't have to pay me back for the car. So it sort of washes out, right? What else? Dun, 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 dun. I put them here in the same order as I'm putting them new in 2022. I decided to put my bills first, then my debt, then my home. And then these three have to do with the home. I'm not gonna follow the rest of this. They're all the same amount. Like this one, tithing is always the same. Life insurance is always the same. So those I'm not going to follow. I'm just going to do the ones in yellow. But going forward, starting in, obviously, now, every time I do my budgeting with you guys, every time I do my videos, what I'm going to end up doing is I will be putting this stuff in here to keep track of it. The other thing I want to tell you is if you put a filter into the sheet, you do have to take the filter out when you're starting to put more items in, because it doesn't pick it up. It's weird. Don't ask me why. I don't know anything about free Google Sheets except for what I've learned, just like you guys. So I want to say that's it. The ones in red is for 2021. The ones in blue are for 2022. Going forward, when I reconcile my banking daily as things come in, you will see me going in here, probably typing this in and putting the information in, just so I can keep tabs on it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not separating anything unless I am reviewing our buckets for the sinking funds, or if we're reviewing our memberships. Like, that's the only thing. If I need to know at the end of the year, obviously I will have to redo these sheets, because at the end of the year I do need a exact total for my medical and an exact amount for my taxes, as we will be preparing for tax season, obviously sometime at the end of January. But besides that, I don't think there's anything else. The bills, I'm not really gonna keep this going except for the yellow. And that's it. So if you guys don't like doing things manually on a, piece of paper, notebook and a paper, or the bullet journal, then go into your Google and do a sheet for free. It's free. You're not being charged. All you gotta do is type the information in. Obviously, it's hard right now, but coming January 1st, new year, new you. Go ahead and create a sheet starting January 1st. Create a budget. You can start at any time. It doesn't have to be January to December. You can start it at any time. You can start it right now and it's December. It doesn't really matter. So just get it going. Get it going. Get it doing. If you guys have any questions, just ask below in the comments, and give it a thumbs up, subscribe. God bless. And just get it done. Get it done.